Like GTV Breakfast. Oh, that video was just, I can't believe I had never heard that song. Kojo featuring Stonebwoy. Two great musicians in one video, and the videography was just on point. I need to go look for that song again. Yeah. We have still coming up on today's show. We've got sports news at 7. I'm sure it's going to be a wash with Man City news and Djokovic and the miraculous escape of the Phobians who live to survive and play in the GPL the next season. If you're a Phobian, are you still sweating? I'd like to know how you feel, all right? And shouts to Medema, who are the champions. Well done, well done. We've got a conversation on PIAC, public interest and accountability issues that we'll be sharing here. And then Nathan takes us home in the last half hour of today's show. But for now, we're going to talk health in the BFS clinic, and we're looking at blood issues. So genotypes. Do you know your genotype? How important is that knowledge? My guest is a specialist hematologist at Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Eugene Tete. Charlie, how are things?
Oh, yeah, fine.
Good to have you, man.
Good to see you.
How was the weekend?
Everything was cool.
It was cool.
Yeah.
All righty. Let's break it down. Yeah. What is a genotype? And why is it important that I should know what my genotype is?
So the genotype in this case is the hemoglobin genotype. Genotype generally, when you talk about genetics, is the genetic composition of the person's body. What makes you who you are. Mm-hmm. The way your ear looks, the way your face looks, even sometimes your eye color, your fingers, everything. There's a unit, a basic makeup of everybody. Not just humans, but every living species. Mm-hmm. That makes us express what we see. Mm-hmm. So how tall you will be, how short you will be, your skin color, all these things are determined by genes in the body. And they express their products. And that's what we refer to as genotypes in certain proteins.
Okay.
So in this case, we are talking about blood hemoglobin genotype. Mm-hmm. So the blood cells, as we all know, the main component of blood has a certain chemical in it. We call it hemoglobin. Mm-hmm. In the hospital, we say HB.
Yes.
HB, yes.
Hemoglobin.
Hemoglobin, yes. That's the main component of blood. That's what does most of the functions of blood. Now, there are several types. At the last count, over 100 types. What happened was that the first one that was found was called hemoglobin A. So we say that is the structurally normal one. It doesn't mean that if you have the others, you are not normal, but that's what was found the very first time. So they called it A. They started finding different, I would say, different types, different from the A. So we started naming it by the alphabet. So we have hemoglobin C, we have D, we have F, we have K, we have I, we have several. Then they exhausted the alphabet. So what they did was that wherever they discovered it, they did it after the place. So we have hemoglobin, let me say, Chelsea, we have Punjab, we have Washington, we even have hemoglobin Kolebu.
Oh, really?
Yes, hemoglobin Kolebu is there. It's a documented thing.
Okay.
You can always check it.
All right.
There's hemoglobin Osu Christianborg.
Really?
Yes. So there are several. Right. There are Connecticut, I mean, several. Now, these are all present, and you need to know which one your body has. And everybody has at least 3, but we'll always mention the major 2. So I'm hemoglobin, I'm AC. Mm-hmm. So that means that if you check my blood right now, I have hemoglobin A, hemoglobin C. Everybody has a little bit of A2 and F. A2 and F are always there. We carry them from our let me say the fetal age, yes. But we always mention the major ones. So when we say you are AA, it means that your major hemoglobin is A. It doesn't mean that there are no, that the others are not there. But we've always mentioned the major ones because they determine really, I would say the clinical outcome, how things will go. So that is what we are talking about, the genotype, knowing what really your hemoglobin makeup is. You know, in the past,
is this? Sorry to cut you in. Is this the same as my blood type is O positive?
No,
it's not. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Okay.
O positive, B positive, A positive, and the others, they refer to blood group systems.
Okay.
Yes, there are also about 30 of them and more. Blood groups are determined by substances on the cell surfaces. I liken it to the donuts, the one we buy at the malls, not the one we buy by the roadside. The one with the sugar,
the sugar
on it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I liken the blood group substances to the sugar on the donut. And the hemoglobin is the flour in it. So everybody's cell has these two things. The blood group substances are on the surface, and the hemoglobin is inside. What we are talking about is the hemoglobin, the flour inside. That's what will do most of the work.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying. They have different types. Okay. So if I don't know your genotype, which one? If you are AA, that means you have A, you have A2, and you have F. A2 and F together will be about 5%. The rest will be the A. So many people will be AA, AC. I'm AC. People are AS. Some are SS. Some are SF. Some are SC, depending on your combination. And that's what we are talking about, knowing your genotype. Different from just testing and being told that you are negative. Now, when they say you are sickling negative, what happens is that they are just looking for the S. So if I'm AC and I check for sickling, I do a sickling test, they will tell me I'm negative. They will not tell me I'm AC. To know that, I need to do an additional test. And that's what we're advocating for right now, that people should go a step further and know their genotype, because that's what determines the outcomes.
Why is it important for me to know my genotype?
Yes, so the genotype determines your hemoglobin composition. That determines, I would say, your health in terms of the work of the blood cells. So we all know our brothers and sisters who live with sickle cell disease, yes? It's because they have S and an abnormal hemoglobin. So if you have any S with any other hemoglobin apart from A, they will say you have sickle cell disease. I hope it's clear.
Yeah, I'm trying to wrap my head around it.
So let's take it from the basics. So the only structurally normal one is A. That's all we all know. Now, if you have any other hemoglobin composition, any two, with an S and any other one, not an A, we say another abnormal, then we say you have sickle cell disease.
Okay.
So if you have SC, the S is there, the C is not A, so you have sickle cell disease. And that is why our brothers and sisters who have AS, we say they don't have sickle cell disease. Because even though they have the S, they have an A. So the A sort of, let me say, it overrides.
But are they carriers?
Yeah, so they are carriers.
Okay.
So when you have AS, you are a carrier, and you can transfer it to your offsprings.
Okay.
But you don't have sickle cell disease.
Is this what this chart is telling us?
Yes, so this chart, you see the male is AA, the female is AS. Those are the two. So those are the parents. Now, the AS is a carrier.
Okay.
All right. And everybody inherits one from each parent. So you take one from your mom, one from your dad. That's how it is. So if you do the permutations, and we have a way of doing it, you realize that 50% of the offsprings will be AA, 50% will be AS. All right. And let me say that this determination doesn't mean that if you give it to 4 children, two will be AA and 2 will be AS. No. At every pregnancy, every time the woman gets pregnant, you have a possibility of getting 50% chance of getting AA
or AS.
And it can happen that you give birth to 9 children and all of them will be AS. If you can move to the next one, I'll show you a typical example. Okay, so this is me and my wife. So I'm AC, my wife is AA. So in that case, all the children, again, 50% will be AA, 50% will be AC.
Yes.
So we say they are all normal because there's no S here. The next one, good. This is the typical situation we have in our communities. AS, and that's where the problem comes. So when you have AS, you have you have 1 out of 4. That's 25% chance of getting an AA child, and 50% chance of getting an AS child, and you have a 25% chance of getting an SS child. Now the SS is where the problem is, because you have an S, you have 2 S's which are all abnormal, and that's why we say the person has sickle cell disease. And I'm saying that this permutation will happen at every pregnancy. So this female can have 9 children, all of them can be SS. She can also have 9 children, all of them can be AA, because at every pregnancy it's a percentage, it's a probability.
So everything resets.
Everything resets at every pregnancy. So I know couples who have 6 children, and 5 of them are SS.
Lord.
Yes, because at every pregnancy, the permutation goes on again. And let me say that at this point, nobody knows how it is done. It's just left to who determines the sex and all these things. So it's not by any calculation. You can't sit down and calculate it.
This is not a lotto thing. Even the lotto thing, they can't even calculate.
You can't calculate it.
Lying to us.
Currently, science is trying to modify things a bit, but still, this basic thing holds. So you can have 3 children, and all of them will be SS. You can also have 8 children, and you get them all of them to be AA.
What is the most extreme case that you have come across in your practice?
There's a woman in Cape Coast. We talked to her some time ago, about some 6 years ago. She had 9 children. 1 died at birth. 8 of them, all of them SS. 9 children, all of them SS. The one who died, we are assuming the one who even died at birth, maybe was even an SS. Those who survived, they are all SS. She was in Cape Coast. So these are this is how difficult it can be.
8 children.
8 children. She had 9 children actually.
Yes. 1 died.
1 died.
The 8 that survived.
The 8 that survived.
All of them
SS.
SS.
Yes.
How is she coping? How are the children coping?
They have different problems. Yes, different problems. Yes. Some are good, some are okay, but some have very severe conditions.
Wow.
And that's why it's good to know. Because if you know, then you actually make a decision to avoid getting an SS child. So I have a patient who herself is SS, and she made sure that she married somebody who's AA. So what happened is that now all her children are AS, and she's determined to teach her children so that by the next generation, or if her AS children marry AAs, then maybe in the next 20, 30 years, they would have cleared the S from their system. And this is what genetic counseling does. When you seek proper counseling, this is what we can help you to do.
So now we have genetic counseling.
Yeah, we've been doing it. I mean, there are doctors. There are doctors who do these things where we'll sit down with you, we'll look at the permutations. I can actually determine whether it's your father or mother. I know that my mother gave me my C, my father gave me the A. Because you can do what we call family studies. You can put the whole family down, check everybody's, and map it out. And then we'll tell you that it is this and that and that. And we can even advise you on what to do next.
What do you tell a couple who have realized that, hey, the way things are going, there's a very high likelihood that we're going to have a child
with
who has sickle cell, but they insist that, listen, we love each other, so we're going ahead anyway. God is in control.
Yes. So the thing about, for us as doctors, and when I do my talks and my counseling and all those things, it's an informed decision. We don't decide for you. So we lay the facts the way it is, as much as we know the probabilities and everything, and then we leave you to decide. And I can tell you that I've had young people come to me, we talk to them, they go back, and the lady will come back later and say that it didn't happen. I've had people who have already printed invitation cards, bought wedding gowns. I meet them, we have a discussion, I don't hear from them again. 4 months later, the lady comes back and says that it didn't happen. And I've had people too who we've counseled, they go ahead and they fight it through. The important thing is information, knowing what you're up against. So if we tell you everything and you decide to go, then you are armed with information, you are armed with resources, you know what you are up against. And in those cases, we think that it's even better. But no, I'm sure no doctor will tell you, don't do this, don't do that. It's an informed decision that way. So I will not, I learned this from my professor who trained me. You never say never. In medicine, you never say never. Anything is possible. And I have people who are AS, and they give birth to 3 children, and all AA. And they move on. And so you just lay the cards and then you leave it. Yes.
What is the level of awareness about genotypes in Ghana?
Very low, I must say. Very, very low. Because we were used to just a Sickling test. And that's why we are going on some of these educational things that we need put now to move beyond the Sickling test and then check the genotype. Now you can even quantify the hemoglobin. So even in my AC, I can quantify and know how much, is it 50% A, 40% C. We can even do that for you. So we are moving on a step ahead and saying that no, don't just check the Sickling test, but know your genotype, your composition, and that will inform what you do, what your next step should be. It's been difficult again because of the cost involved.
What's the cost average?
HB electrophoresis average. Let me use Kolebu, which is basically the lowest. Yeah. I think we are in the 80 cedis there about.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Sickle test is very simple. I think that's about 15 or so cedis. So that one everybody, but the hemoglobin electrophoresis is a bit higher. I think the last time I did, I think it was about 80 cedis. So
what does it entail? How do we do the test?
Oh, you just need blood, just like anybody. Just about 1 ml of blood.
Okay.
That's all you need, and then we'll just run it. You can get your results the same day, depending on which lab you do, or the next day. Very, very fast. I mean, and they will tell you what it is, and then you can move on. If you want to know more, you can even ask of the quantification. That will even help you to know the percentages of whether it's F, A2. You can know all the percentages. That's even better. Yeah, so we can do all these things. The problem is the fact that people have to pay out of pocket. So when they have to, so I'll do it the next time. Then they keep postponing it. So they are met with a situation where it becomes very difficult. Yeah.
Beyond sickle cell, what are the other blood conditions that you can detect using these kinds of testing?
Oh yeah, so there are other ones, not the genotype. So we all know about GCP deficiency. That's another chemical that we need to check, because that one can also give us problems. We know about hemophilias. We talked about hemophilia the last time. These are things that we can check with just 1 ml of blood. You can check some of these things, and then you will know. The problem is that sickle cell, that's what gives us the disease burden. That's the economic, the social implications. It's very heavy on our people, and that's why it seems like that's what is at the forefront, because it affects almost everybody: the individual, the patient himself or herself, the family, the community, the church, everybody. The whole village will suffer from it. Actually, the whole country suffers, because when they are admitted, and I mean bed space and resources, everybody suffers from it.
And why is it that around this time of the year you seem to get more cases?
More cases, yeah.
What they call the crisis?
Yes, the crisis. The crisis are the acute events they suffer. So they are not they are normal most of the time. They walk around, do everything. But in extreme conditions, so you see during this time of the year, a lot of rains. The weather is a bit cold. I mean, in the night you can get even temperatures can fall very drastically, and when they are exposed to very cold temperatures, their blood will sickle. So their blood will lose its normal form and then form what we call the sickle shape, like a comma shape, half moon kind of thing, and that blocks their vessels, and that gives them crisis. The other thing about this time of season is that because of the rains, a lot of mosquitoes and things are around, and when they are exposed to mosquito bites, they get malaria. It worsens their condition. So we see a lot of them around this time with crisis. If you go to other countries, if you go to the north, in the heat, they also have their own problems. Yes, but basically, it's just knowing your genotype and knowing what to do next.
Can your genotype change over time, or is it fixed?
Yes, if it's determined, and I'm glad you're asking this question, because genotype, when a child is born, the child comes with a certain genotype. It changes it starts changing from about 6 months to about 1 year.
Oh, it actually can change
for the child, for children.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So a baby born today, if you check the baby's genotype today, you will get a certain results. If you check it in 1 year, you might get a different results.
Why is that?
Because these are things that the body produces over time. The baby is still growing, things are still changing. So usually we'll give them out to about a year before they stabilize. But for adults, it doesn't change. But now science has moved on, and we are changing it. Yeah, so that's another discussion altogether. There's bone marrow transplant. There's genetic gene therapy.
Yes.
Where patients who are sickle cell SS, we can alter it and make it AS.
Wow.
Yes, SCs we are making is AS, AC, but it's not done in Ghana.
Very expensive, I'm sure.
Very expensive, but it works.
It works.
It works. Yes.
Where is this kind of research? Where is this kind of practice being?
Oh, it's been done. Even Ghana, we tried it at Rich Hospital some time ago. Yes, yes. But the system is the place is closed down now. But it works. South Africa is doing, Nigeria is doing, India, Turkey, They all do it. So it's like we are converting the sickle cell. So it's like the cure for sickle cell now, where the SS now become AS. So they are free from all the crisis and all that. SC becomes maybe AC or AS, and they are free from all that. But that's high level.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yes.
You were just saying, so SS and SC, these are levels of sickle cell condition?
Yes, so the sickle cell condition is, as I said, any combination that has an S with another abnormal, which is an A. So SS is sickle cell, SF is sickle cell, SC is sickle cell, SD is sickle cell, SG is sickle cell, SK, any of them.
It's a spectrum?
It's a spectrum.
Which is the most severe?
The most severe is the SS. The one we call sickle cell anemia. They have the very low blood levels. They require transfusions almost every month, every 2 months. They come to hospital very often with very severe conditions. Yes, they are the most severe, followed by the SCs. Then we have the S beta thaus. They are also more stable than SF. So there are some that are very stable. I saw a patient who was SF. She was 45 years. She had never had any problems. She never knew about AIDS crash. She didn't even know. She's never been admitted, no transfusions, nothing. She came to us for another condition, and then we were just checking,
and then
we found it. And he was like, he didn't know.
No. And the lady at Cape Coast, what were her children? SS?
They were all SS, yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So the SS, very early in life, so by the age of 6 months, 1 year, you start seeing the signs. Admissions, infections, bone pain, low blood levels, requiring transfusion. So those are the trigger points. So that's what, then we follow up, and then we find out that the child is SS.
Give us a sense of the weight of the disease burden of sickle cell in Ghana.
Okay, so we say, I mean, the current figures we deal with is that 25% of our people, that's 1/4 of all Ghanaians, carry the S.
1/4?
1/4, yes.
1 in 4?
25%, even more. The last time I checked, 26 point something, carry S. So that means that we all have the potential of transmitting it or carrying it across. And we are saying that 2% of our newborns, they said 1.8, so we average our 2% of our newborns have sickle cell.
2 over 100.
2 over 100. And if you know the number of children who are born in Ghana every year, thousands and tens of thousands, and you take 2% of that, then you know that that's the problem. And these children will grow, and they will also pass it on. So that's how it is now. Is
it true that sickle cell is a black man's disease?
No, not at all. It's not a black man's disease. It's the way. Let me say that, you see, the other places, they've taken steps to sort of get rid of it. One of the things was genetic counseling. So they educated their people very well, and they started checking at birth. So you are born, and then they check, so they know. So whilst you are growing, they are telling you. I have my church. I tell the young children service and JY people that whilst you are sending the text messages and you are saying I like you, you are dating and all that, you are talking about these things.
Yeah. Have you checked your?
Yes. These are things that your children should know about. By the time they are about 10 years, and amazingly, it's in our textbooks. It's in our GSS textbooks, in our SS textbooks. But the teachers don't know how to teach it, so they are not teaching it properly. But it was.
Should call some of you into the class to come and do one or two.
Yes. We try. Sometimes we get talks. We give them talks. But the idea is that by the time they get to JSS 3 or so, they should know about it. By the time they get to secondary school, where they are forming their relationships and getting to know who I like, who I don't like, these discussions will go on. And this is how other countries have broken the cycle. Other countries have gone to the extreme, and I say extreme because I'm in Ghana, because they've used selective abortions and things like that. So in countries, now we can check if the woman is about 3 months pregnant. We can take a little fluid from the pregnancy, and we will know whether the child will be SS or not. And in countries where the laws allow, you are given the option to determine whether you want to keep it or terminate it. And they've used some of these things to get rid of their the burden. Okay. We are still working towards these things. Yeah. So it's not really a black man's disease. It's just that other countries have taken steps, yes, to get rid of it. Yeah.
What's let me see if I can see any messages here. No, we don't have a message here yet. What are the key things that you want to leave with people with respect to genotype?
So
gene counseling.
Yeah. So the first thing is that get to know your status. Everybody you should get to know your status. That's the very first step. So walk into any good laboratory, and tell them you want to know your HB genotype, not just a Sickling test. So usually they will do 2 tests for you, Sickling and then the electrophoresis, and they'll put it together and tell you that you are AC, you are AA, you are AF, you are SAS. They'll tell you. Now, once you know, then check. Let others around you also check whether they are your spouses, children, you are dating, whatever. Just get to know. So once you get to know, seek counseling, and there are doctors who talk to you about it and tell you what the options are. If you are going to get married, you should get to know, and then know. I tell people that it's not about telling you no, don't get married, but getting informed, and getting the resources that will help you. If it happens that you get a sickle cell disease child, then you know how to handle it.
I'm already married. Should I still go and do that test?
Yeah, you should still do, because when you do, then you know how your children's system, what theirs is, and then once they know their genotypes, when they are growing, the discussion can go on. Okay. So you can use yours as a basis and have the discussion with them. All right. Then they can move on from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very, very useful. Just before I go, is hydroxyurea part of hematology?
Hydroxyurea, yes. That's the
Joseph wanted to know it.
Yes, so that's the latest, not the latest, but some of the drugs we use. So, as I said, science is changing fast, yes. In the past, we didn't have some of these drugs, but currently we have hydroxyurea, we have crizanlizumab and others. Hydroxyurea is the one we use to help them prevent crisis, prevent the transfusions, and many patients are on it. A lot of them are. Actually, it's nationwide now.
Okay.
Even it's on national health insurance, actually.
Prescription drug?
Yeah, prescription drug, yes. And we monitor them. And even babies are on it. And it helps prevent the frequency of crisis. It manages their conditions. It reduces the risk of the frequency of infections and other things.
Okay.
Yeah, but it has to be done under the care of a specialist who understands these things. Yes,
okay. Alaji Dawuda wants to know that, is that what we use to determine DNA results of who is your child or not? Genotype?